People connect with you to the level of how you make them feel. We are an egoistic type of human beings where we think everything is me, me, me. And if you are watching this video, you are going to dive into certain situations with me where I talk to you about how you're dealing with what you're dealing and how to get better at dealing with people. I have always heard this comment of like, work on your human skills or work on blah blah blah, and I was doing certain things wrong, but I was also doing certain things right, and if I don't like it, I'll call it when I see it. And for certain people that like to glamorize situations or say things to people that they don't actually mean or they don't actually care, but they just glamour the situation, I am not going to evolve into these type of situations. I am so let's say I have like an empath spirit. I can feel things. I can definitely feel things. And throughout my life, it's like I faced certain situations where I was like, you know what? This is wrong. And I was like beating myself up into believing that what I'm feeling is wrong and what I'm seeing or what I'm hearing is right. Truth is, I was wrong. Because most of the time when something doesn't feel right or it doesn't align with what I actually project or what I actually be delivering, it is actually the moment that I have to walk away. So I've been like dealing with this for so long, and today I realized that I want to talk about it and share it on YouTube simply because I finally managed to get myself out of these situations, and it's thanks to me. It's not thanks to the situations because the situations were so bad, and I'm gonna talk about them all. So I used to have like this mindset of like being nice or being good to people is gonna make them automatically begin to be nice to me back or be kind toward me the same way I am, until I learned that it's actually me that is pouring into this. And if they don't match that or if they don't have that, I just simply walk away. I put a distance away from like these type of people. But the lesson was so harsh. Like the lesson was like the fact that I was like throughout the whole way, I believed it what kind of version I created out of these people. It's like I kept holding into that version until I kept repeating the same lesson and over and over and over and over again until I actually learned that, oh my God, this is what I'm doing wrong here. And I gotta change this whole scenario. Now you're watching this video because you want to know like why you keep going back to these patterns, or why you keep going back to that person, or why you're going back to the same, situation that or you feel is not right for you. I'm gonna tell you why. It's because you haven't learned the lesson and you're allowing the same lesson to repeat itself until one day you're gonna be sick and tired of what you're going through, and you will have no other chances but to change that or to replace that and create something new for you. Right now, you are okay with repeating the lesson because you still have energy. You still have like a lot going on that you want to be involved with this situation, until one day you're gonna be sick. Like you're gonna be literally sick that, okay, I just hate this. Like I don't want to deal with this anymore. I'm done. Like this is the last day. And there is no date. There is no date. There is no phase. There is no, okay, I'm gonna give it a month or I'm gonna give it that. There is no timelines. It's the amount of you allowing this, and it's the amount of like what certain person said here on YouTube. I don't recall their name, but you're gonna keep drinking poison until you actually know that it's poison and you start getting physically sick out of that. That's the moment where you're gonna choose like, oh my God, I am going to not deal with this and I have to create something better for me because I'm done. Like I am done. I have nothing to give. I have nothing to deal with, and I am moving. And that was my case. I allowed like a lot of people to just take my energy and allowed a lot of people to access me, even though like access to me was like so hard, and I had this information in my brain like I am limiting access to me. Like I have dealt with this so many times that I've changed the pattern so many times. But changing the pattern, just to give you a lesson, changing the pattern doesn't mean it's gonna work immediately. It just means that you're choosing a different path, and you're either gonna learn a different lesson so you can change to another path, or this path is actually the healthiest way you are going to be. So I limited my access, and I allowed certain people to keep existing, thinking that, oh my God, they have a great potential to become better. But that was wrong. Like knowing that a person has like a great potential to grow or to become better doesn't mean that they are. This is you evolving. This is not them evolving. And as human beings, and we like to think like the world is about me, 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 and every time I'm bettering me, the people around me are gonna better themselves, and we all are gonna be in this beautiful space. But it's wrong. It's so wrong, because the moment that I start bettering me, I start noticing everyone else who are not doing the same work. I just start seeing why certain people are dealing with the same situations over and over and over again. I start seeing why certain people are choosing this lifestyle. I'm saying choosing because it's a choice. Being happy is a choice. Being stressed is a choice. Being anxious and acting on it is a choice. Everything that we are doing is also a choice. You can choose to be happy, and you can choose to accept the situation that you're going through and solve the situation in a way that would make sense to you, or you can do the opposite of this. I've choose to do exactly this. I've choose to become better at dealing with these type of people, and at the same time, accept the kind of comments that I'm receiving, or accept the kind of situations that I'm going through, and allowing myself to learn the lesson, and allowing myself to learn exactly what should I get out of this. So throughout the way, it's like I started limiting access to a lot of people that I allowed in my circle back then. And still I am, actually. I'm still doing this constantly, because every time I reach a new level of like my healing journey or becoming better at something, and I see someone else who's not ready to deal with this, I immediately put myself away from that. Not because I don't want to deal with them or I don't want them to be in my life, but because what they are going through is something that I overcame, and I cannot take them out of that. They have to choose to take themselves out. And because I think like how I dealt with things were like a really, really healthy way, and a really transitioning from someone who's, anxious to someone who's secure, and being consistent and being like a person that is always there for themselves is actually the reward that I got out of this. And I learned that ego can be good sometimes. Ego can be like something that would allow you to stay away from a lot of bad situations. That doesn't mean like you think like you're better than anyone else, but because you think you're better than your old self. And you have to act on your future self, not your old self. And to always challenge your beliefs, your your patterns, your whatever situations that you're going through, you challenge them. You are dealing with you, not anyone else. And you love when people are doing the same exact thing, simply because it allows you to have like a really meaningful conversation and build a better connection. I start also distancing myself from people that actually talk negatively about themselves, because somehow as an empath, I carry other people's emotions. And I didn't know that this actually existed at a certain point. I didn't know that this is actually something bad. I just knew that I can carry something with someone else. Like if someone is sad and they're like telling me about like how sad the story is, I'll carry the same emotion. I'll even cry because I carry the same exact emotion. So sometimes I'll be heavy, and I'll think like, what kind of emotion I'm holding right now? And sometimes it's not even mine. So I started learning more about that, and I started learning about how to regulate my emotions. That allowed me to sort of like not say being in control, but knowing exactly what I'm going through and validating my own emotion, but at the same time doing my own thing and not really giving my emotion the power to guide me. I just guided me out of like, I know what I'm going through, I know what I be doing, and I know exactly how to overcome this. Either sitting with it, either writing it, either talking about it, crying about it, doing anything about it, but never numb it. Never. So yeah, I just wanted to say, like, having ego sometimes would really save you from like a lot of failures and losers, and it will help you to see the reality for what it is and not for what you're picturing it to be. It will also allow you to be more aware of like, what are you going through and what are you battling. So you, once you name the emotion will no longer have a power because you're aware of it. I am sad. Done. You know you're sad. You know that you're validating that emotion. You can talk about why you're sad, but you're gonna move on with your life. Versus not talking about it and behaving or acting in a crazy way and no one will care. Literally, nobody's coming to save you. No one cares. And inside every person of us, we have this me type of person where everything revolves around that. And I started the video by saying exactly that. So, whatever you're going through, you're not alone. This is just the me inside you that is telling you you're alone in this. Nobody's going through it. It's a lie. Everyone else are going through it, but differently. You are allowed to express what you're going through. You are allowed to not give power to those emotions to make decisions moving forward. You have to really learn how to validate your own emotions and to take actions that would actually benefit you. Because when you're emotional and you don't know how to deal with your emotion, you're going to take decisions or make decisions based on that. Now, avoid becoming emotionalist because you're going to be so crazy in terms of like making certain things in your life or certain people in your life and not knowing how to deal with anything else. And you're always like, whenever a person is like trying to build something meaningful with you based on like closeness or like, let's say, intimacy, this, that, and the other, you're going to pull back simply because you have a mechanism or attachment style that is deactivating every time you are getting closer to someone. So you want to learn about all of these things to become a better entrepreneur if you are onto that path, or to become successful into your life. Whatever you're gonna do, this is a message that is coming from my heart. Have ego that would protect you from dealing with lessons that are like less than what you're worth. Don't have ego that would just make you feel lonely or make you feel like you're better than anyone else, because you're not. But it's still you. You have your unique, print out of this world. So make it about you to better yourself. Don't make it about you to compete with everyone else. Just make it about you to be better than you. That's all. So that was like my experience. I learned this lesson the hardest, how I can say, yeah, it was the hardest, because I had to just go back to the roots and know exactly why I'm doing what I'm doing and why I behave the way I behave and why this and why that. And I started noticing like, okay, the reason why I'm going through these lessons is because I'm asking for this and I am, dealing with it in this way instead. How about I change the path and I start looking at it from a secure type of way. Being secure is all about being calm and knowing exactly what kind of emotion you're dealing with. Like, okay, I'm frustrated, I'm sad, I am this, I am that. So it's like you know exactly what you're going through, but by naming it no longer has a power on you. You have power over it. And at the same time, it allows you to know exactly who you are as a person and improving who you are. And it allows you to make a huge difference between being, let's say, a visionary and visioning people versus bring that energy back to you and just having a vision to yourself. And I know like this is gonna be so hard because the journey to transition, it is going to be one of the hardest. Trust me, I used to be anxious and I moved to secure by dealing with like a lot of setbacks, and those setbacks were like just my old beliefs and old patterns that I followed to maintain certain relationships in my life. But the moment that I started transitioning to secure, I started noticing everyone else around me and what kind of, attachment style that they are on. Now that allows me to understand, do I want to deal with them, or do I want to like just leave and move on with my life? No matter how close people are, always choose who you are. Always choose and hype the future version of yourself. Because realistically talking, like most of the things that we do out of, emotions are gonna fall once you start knowing exactly what kind of attachments or mechanisms that you're following, that you are changing. The moment you change them, you start seeing the reality. You start seeing people for who they are, not what they say, not what you picture them to be. So if you're watching this video, have ego. That's what I want to say. Just have ego that would make you better than your old self. To the moment where if someone knew you 5 years ago and they met you today, they have to re-know you again because you're not the same person. That's even if they are on that level. Just so you know, if they're not on the level, having a conversation with them is like having a conversation with someone who's like 5 years back into your older version. So yeah, that's pretty much what I wanted to share on today's video. If you watched till the end, give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe because that's how we grow. And see you guys on my next video. Bye bye.